I broke my #1 rule with a handicapped guy. I'm a 28-year-old female. My childhood best friend, Jess, 28F, lives in another state with her boyfriend of 3 years, so we don't hang out much anymore. I've mostly been single, focused on finishing my degree and starting my career. I'm not a prude, but casual intimacy has never been my thing, and Jess knows this. She's teased me about it lightly in the past. So, about a month ago, I had a first date with a guy I'd been talking to for a bit, thought it was going places, but he gave a weird vibe on the date and I cut and ran early. On my way home, I stopped at a local pub, figured I'd have a drink to unwind and people watch till it wore off. Tipsy driving is still drunk driving IMO. I get there and it's pretty packed, Friday night and all, and there was no seating room at the bar. I took my drink and looked around. Most of the restaurant side of the pub was someone's birthday party, but there was a small table with a seat open off to the side with a guy reading a book there. So I say F it, I'm a social person, and what's the worst thing that happens? He says no. So I ask if I can sit there for a bit. I promise we don't have to talk or anything. At this point, I feel like I've fucked up because this guy up close is the hottest man I have ever seen. But he just smiled at me and gave an enthusiastic sure a few minutes later of me sipping in silence, and he says, I don't mind talking if you want to. Yeah, I want to. Are you kidding me right now? We talk for a bit, and it turns out Mike, fake name, is 29, just finished his master's degree in some kind of computer learning field. I program computers to program computers, and he's living on his own for the first time. He apparently stops by the pub after work because he's right around the corner, and he's not used to the silence yet after living so long with a half-dozen siblings. We talked for a good 2 hours about everything from dating, which he said he's basically given up on, to hobbies and tastes, and we have a near total eclipse of a Venn diagram on this stuff. I eventually sort of blurted out that I don't know why he'd give up on dating. This is the closest thing I've had to a good date in forever. Shooting my shot obliquely here, LOL. He gets kind of an odd look on his face and says, tell you what, I have to go to the bathroom, but when I come back, I'll ask you out for real. Weird, but okay. Then it all clicks because he doesn't get up to walk away. He just rolls in his wheelchair, and I'm thinking, oh my God, he wanted to give me a chance to back out of this without making it awkward. How cute can this guy be? He grinned like crazy when he got back and saw I was still there, and I basically tripped over myself saying something to the effect of, so I'm free all weekend. What did you have in mind? An hour later, we've made plans for Saturday, and he mentioned having a neuromuscular disorder. I can't remember the name. My degree isn't in STEM, LOL. His legs work, but signals from his brain get misinterpreted, affecting his balance and coordination for walking or standing. As the pub shifts to a younger, rowdier crowd, he asks if I'd like to continue our conversation over coffee at his place. As you have probably long since realized, I did not get any coffee or conversation till the next morning, and I have zero regrets. We've been dating since, and I know it's still early, but I really feel like this might be the one. Onward to yesterday afternoon, my friend Jess, remember Jess, is in town, and we go out for coffee to catch up on things. I'm gushing about Mike, but when I get to how we met, she just sort of got weird and edgy. I don't remember any exact words, but she essentially said that I must have a fetish for the handicapped since I broke my #1 rule, and it's the best physical relationship I've ever been in. Like it's good for me because he uses a wheelchair, not because the guy puts in effort in bed. She said I've changed as a person and left without even saying goodbye. 15 years of friendship, and I've never seen her like that. So here I am asking the most objective people online, haha, if I'm an asshole or weird for being super attracted to a guy who uses a wheelchair and basically putting out immediately.